Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, big dog?
How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Just getting ready for next week.
Yeah, same here, man. It's pretty good. We're already live. Cool. All
Oh,
right. That was a lot quicker than I thought. What's going on, man? So, welcome everybody to Vibe Fridays. As always, we're going to be coding some stuff and doing some crazy stuff today. So today, believe it or not, I'm going to do a little bit of what I've been trying to do for a while. Well, I already have this system kind of intact for me, and today I'm going to kind of walk you guys for anybody using high level or any other kind of software where you're basically going to be onboarding customers, and then I'm going to have the lovely Mario Genius over here to kind of help you through it. So basically, it's going to be very simple. Somebody fills out a form, and what we want to do is make it as easy as possible for the customer that we're about to take on to give them as many resources as they can to be successful. So my idea is we are going to take the customer in through a form. We're basically going to use NAN because it's going to be the easiest process. Once they give us a form, we are going to do a perplexity search. We are going to search their current website. We're going to search their name. We're going to search any information that's on the customer. And then from that information, start creating content that the customer can use. So, first and foremost, we're going to look at its website and have the AI, and we're going to create different AI agents that are going to have different tasks that is going to analyze the site, give tips, redefine the offer, do all this different stuff, then go there from there, go to organic posting where it's going to come up with some designed organic posting that to help people, generate business for whatever business they are. Because imagine how cool this was. Mario becomes my client. He comes in, and the second he becomes my client, I pull everything that I can find on the internet about him and start delivering before he even asks for anything. And it gives me a really good offset because 9 times out of 10, your customers will come in and they'll have good intentions, but they'll never launch because they don't have a great offer. Their websites were not really good. It's not meant to convert. And then more importantly, it's just going to kind of just deteriorate. So today we're going to kind of do the onboarding sequence to create as many of those assets as possible. And we're going to add. So Mario and I are going to put our brains together and we're going to do this on the fly. This is completely live. We are doing this from complete scratch. So just kind of follow along as we kind of build through it, but you're going to see the process. And the goal of it is that we're going to build the assets, create a Google Drive link and folders. So all these get put in there. So again, it's going to be a really good, smooth onboarding process. So for anybody that's watching today, that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll take a little bit of control of the helm. And then I'm going to have Mario. And by the way, this is kind of another project we're working on. God help me. It's beastly and I'm working on it. And I got her talking. I got her talking. I got Donna talking through 11 Labs. Mario, you'd be proud, but still needs
nice.
still needs a little bit of work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into a folder and we're gonna actually create this from scratch. So just like everywhere else, anybody that's been watching along, whenever you're building these kind of things in NAN, always start with folders, making sure you're organizing your work. Mario and I have talked about this in length. But what we're gonna do is I'm in my personal folder in here. I'm gonna create a folder and it's going to be onboarding. All right. And we are gonna hit create. I now have a folder. Once I have the folder, I'm gonna go ahead and create my workflow. Now, in here, remember, we're always going to need some kind of input coming in order for us to start the process. And guys, this is probably going to be one of the simplest, but one of the best possible things you can do. We're going to create a simple form. Now, when you're inside of your NAN workflow, make sure you're coming in here and we're going to name this RAM because that's my agency. And I'm going to put onboarding form or onboarding. We're just going to put RAM onboarding, and I spelled it right for once. Wow, that's amazing. Anybody following me will probably be one of the worst spellers by the time it's all done. I'm just letting you know. And we're coming close to like 32,000 subscribers, so I feel sorry for all of you. So we're gonna do the on form submission. It's seriously, it's a travesty. I don't even know how to explain how bad
Dude,
it
I
is.
feel I now say Chat GTP all the time, and I'm like, God darn it, Nuno.
I know, and you guys have to forgive me. Honestly, this is not a joke. I literally am 1000% dyslexic. I was like really late in the game. I think at 40 years old, I had a client who was a person that worked with people that were dyslexic, and she was noticing all these things. She's like, "Holy crap!" She's like, "What?" She's like, "I really think you're dyslexic," and I'm like, "I'm not like by a little bit, by a lot." So I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Take this exam." So I take this exam that she makes me go through, and lo and behold, I'm not only dyslexic, I'm like high-end dyslexic, so it's even worse. So yeah, officially by title dyslexic. So Yeah, if you're with me, then I'm sorry for you.
We
So
still
for
love
instance,
you, man.
this is onboarding. So and my friends do make fun of me. They purposely put things in front of me to like see how bad I do. Onboarding, please fill out the form below. And all I'm doing is building out the form. So I selected the form node, and now I'm creating the onboarding form. Please fill the form below. Okay, cool. The form is submitted, right? And then we're going to add elements in the form. The first thing we're going to always connect is first name because we're going to need these things in order for us to find the person, right? We're going to need their name. We're going to need their email. We're going to need all of that. The second thing we're going to do is we have the first name. Obviously, we're going to need the last name. Okay. And then Mario's again, just fill in Mario of anything that I might be missing. But again, the goal of it is I'm going to be using this information to basically grab whatever's on the internet that Perplexity. And the reason we're going to use Perplexity is because Perplexity is a very advanced search engine. You can buy API credits for it, but it's actually what the
Yep.
programmers use to like search like high end like forums and all this other stuff. So all I'm doing right now is we're on the form submission node. I have name, last name, email, and now we're going to get into business website. And I'm not going to make it because you might be having some people that are absolute beginners, so we're not going to necessarily pull that, but just so you know it's there. So we're going to have business website, and the placeholder is going to be please connect your current business site. All right, we're not going to make it required, not connect. Please input, or how about your business website for the placeholder? All right, and then we're not going to make it required. We're going to also do LinkedIn profile because there is a way apparently that you can use Amphi. Are you ready for this, Mario? And it will go to LinkedIn and suck everything out of the profile.
Yeah, you can actually use LinkedIn's native API too if you have a LinkedIn app. So there's a couple different ways you can. Appify is just one way to do it. The challenge with Appify is LinkedIn really hates scrapers. So you always run the risk of when you connect your LinkedIn profile in Appify, that LinkedIn will pick up on it. So um, the LinkedIn API is pretty powerful too.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah, we
cool.
can
So
definitely do stuff with
yeah,
that.
so we're going to be doing that. But again, the goal of it is somebody fills out an onboarding form, and we are literally going to pull every possible thing that we can find in the customer. The more stuff we collect, the better it is. Um, and we'll see how this goes. So again, we're building this live, folks. This is actually the easy part. Uh, link to your business link Facebook profile, and then the last is going to be what is your current service or product? Oh, we're going to say main product. Okay, this is definitely going to be required. And then add another form element. What is your offer? Okay. And basically, what is the offer of what you are selling? We can go back and change that just in case that's not proper English. Okay, cool. So,
I would make
and
that required too, yeah.
what was that?
I was gonna say I would make that required too.
Yeah, so we got it required. So now the goal of it is we're definitely going to be using an AI agent because we want the AI agent. We could also go straight to Perplexity, but I always feel like the AI agent just you can prompt it to clean up the responses and get it ready for Perplexity to have the different things, right? So we're going to use AI agent. We're going to use it off of the connected trigger node. So this will be the chat input that's coming in. We are also going to be using, we'll use ChatGPT 5 for this. Not that I'm a fan, but it's not horrible. Oh, I'm an idiot. OpenAI, where are
I
you?
actually really like ChatGPT 5. It's at the bottom, OpenAI.
Yeah, really? Like, I'm not a fan yet. I mean, I don't know if I'm just being a hater, but first early on impressions when I was writing copy, it was pretty crappy. Um, so again, we are grabbing some point in time GTP5. 444. Where are you? Number five. Number five. Number five.
Mambo number 5.
Mambo number five. All right. For anybody that's tuning in now, remember what we're doing today is we're creating an onboarding sequence for any of your customers where we're going to basically take all their information, create a bunch of assets, take everything out of the internet that we can find on the customer, and then in turn create assets that we're going to be using to helping them and also to give it as like almost like a welcome gift. Here's a folder with all these assets for you and so forth and so on, right? So
So
we are
wouldn't you want to connect Perplexity before the AI agent so you can feed the data to the AI agent to produce the content?
So yeah, so I thought about that. So let's talk about that. It's almost like the chicken before the egg. I always like to clean up the data before I send it to Perplexity. I find it's better results, but prove me wrong. So do you think it's better that we do that? Because again, what exactly are we going to send to Perplexity in what kind of format versus if I grab the information, what if some of these things are empty and don't have values? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
that's fair. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
so
So what tool call are you going to use for uh like are you going to use an
I
Apify
actually
tool
believe they
call?
have Perplexity. Perplex. Yeah.
Nice.
How about that? Pretty cool, right? The
That's
only
really
thing is I can't get the Perplexity account. Um, all right, and I think and Bev has questions, and you can answer this while I keep building this. Would NAN be the go-to to create a workflow for a very large manufacturing company where they need quick search to any SOP while on the plant for over 2,000 employees?
yes. Or bot press, one of the two. I'd probably roll with bot press for that one because um the amount of so to answer Bev's question, the reason I would probably roll with bot press on that is the depth of their search and the control, the out of the box control that you have is going to save you a lot of time. Now it's going to cost more money than N8N, but you're going to have a lot less moving pieces to put together. So it's a trade-off, right? So bot press is probably going to cost you a couple $100 a month, up to $500 a month for access to the platform to build out a chat agent filled with all the SOPs. The quality is probably going to be significantly higher out of the box, but N8N is going to give you more control and more flexibility, but you have to build everything yourself. So you'd have to store everything in a Qdrint database or Pinecone database. You'd have to do all the vector mappings, like all this other stuff that's a lot more complicated. So for most people, I typically tell them to stick with something like BotPress.
There you go, Bev. Um, we're just gonna go to Perplexity API because sometimes I had a little bit of problems with this. All right, so believe it or not, I actually got the comment because comment API for this, but this is Perplexity's API. Now I don't understand where you get the API keys. It's weird. So I guess I'm in the right place. So this is Perplexity, very advanced browser that you can use. This is what all the programmers are using. Now, again, remember, the goal is going to be that I am going to message the model here. The only problem is I can't get the Perplexity account to work. So we're going to find out why. So one is I need an API key and I need to do it on all HTTP requests. So we're going to open the docs actually this time. And we are going to go to Perplexity, which I swear to God, I think I'm at. Nope. Where is it? Where is the API key? Doesn't really.
Would it be on the bottom left under API groups and billing? Uh,
Yeah, okay, it's where I'm at. All right, I've
so
done
then
this
go
like a gazillion times by now, and I still can't get this thing to fire right. So but then again, I got Mario on. All right, let's try this, right? So basically, all it's saying I need to do in order to connect this is grab the API key, right? So I'm not crazy. I have a pro account. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go
yeah, right there. API.
API keys. I'm gonna move this over to another screen. let's do, okay, everything's there. API members, don't need members. It's only me. API keys. All right, I'm going to trash the current key that's out there. I'm going to create a new key. We're going to call it NAN2. And then when I grab the key, it's not saying anything, right? Like I don't need to put bearer in front of it or anything, right?
No, you just go to end and just drop that in right there.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. It, for whatever reason, is not working. Couldn't connect with these settings.
Um, Try going down to allowed request domains. No.
Hmm. Allow.
Interesting. Let me look at my Perplexity account.
And the reason we want to use Perplexity and not another web browser, like we can use ChatGPT, we can all use all this. Uh, it does much better job, especially because it has sonar. Sonar is what's really powerful here. And the reason why we want to do this is because we want to have the ability of pulling everything about the client that we're going to pull in from there. But we got to connect the tool first before we test it out, and then we're going to go from there. But the goal of it is a person signs up for your high level account, your agency, your business, your coaching, whatever it is that you're doing. They fill out a quick little onboarding form. Well, when they fill out an onboarding form, they're automatically going to get into this workflow. The workflow is going to take every information that they've given you so far, and you can even make more elaborate onboarding forms to collect even more data, with the goal being that it's going to pull all this information in, and then it's going to give a bunch of assets and a bunch of opinions based on, excuse me, what you see. And we're going to break it up into different folders because we're going to have one agent that's going to analyze each thing. I've noticed in my experience that when you do it where you give one individual agent one task, it performs it phenomenally better. So for instance, we're going to have one that's going to basically scrap their website, give advice on their website, tell them what's wrong with their website. Is it a converting website? We're going to have another one that's going to look at their Facebook profile, their LinkedIn profile. I wouldn't say it's similar to Funnelbrick, Sonia. It's going to be more of just onboarding in general. Like I said, I want to wow my customers going forward. So whenever they fill out this form, I want them to get a folder where it has literally all their assets that they'll ever need to basically run their business. And then, actually, you can't even see the key, Mario. Just so then you, I'm gonna put it over here. It hides the key. Um, so Mario's taking over on my computer. This is very matrixy, right? We're live through streaming. Mario's in my computer and we're in Zoom. It doesn't get any crazier than
Add
that.
request. Please check your parameters.
Yeah,
So, the only thing you can do is, yeah, because it's not going to let you connect a generic credential
I thought you
to
see where it says
Perplexity.
not perplexity, but you see message a model. There's a custom API call. I'm wondering if,
Yeah, you can do, I mean, you can use an HTTP node. Um,
but then we would have to do it like to your point beforehand.
like, well, no, you can do an HTTP node. You just have to do like this interface right here is purely just an API call. So, you just have to configure the API call manually. So instead of doing a Perplexity node, um, you would do a raw call.
Oh, straight to HTTP
To,
request. Yeah.
yeah, and then you'd have to describe it. So this is a tool for searching for information about a company, there's inputs.
Say a company and individuals based on inputs.
Let's provide it. Um, so now you'd need to go to the um
See, so this is where Mario's taking over because we need to basically grab.
Yeah, so you have your key. So
Mhm.
what, why is it not working? Um, okay, so all you have to do is you can either do a streaming response or a non-streaming response, but in this case, we're just gonna do a non-streaming response. So we're going to import the curl request. And what that's going to do is it's going to, um, so we need to delete this and we need to go here and go generic credential type. We're going to select bearer auth. We're going to create a new credential. Um, should be the last thing you pasted, but just in case, we're going to grab N8N2. Over here to N8N. Paste. All this complexity, AI.
And again,
Okay.
we're only doing this is because Perplexity does have an actual tool, but if for whatever reason it's not working, so we're just gonna go with it and go in here.
So now we just need to execute this step to test it.
So we'll do that. We'll actually, well, it doesn't have any information. All the fields are empty, so we should not.
Well, it's yeah, but it's we just need to test that it's connecting to Perplexity.
Got it.
So it's connecting to Perplexity. So we're good there. So now you can tweak this
Well,
you can
let's do that. Before we do that, we're going to use the AI to give it a more formulated response. So let me just grab over. So thank you, Mario. Your famous Vanna White impersonation was amazing. I'm aging myself by saying Vanna White, but anyway, all right, we're going to delete this node because it doesn't work. So form comes in. We're going to actually execute the form. So what we're going to do is execute step. Let's try that again. Let's execute workflow. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to give it, we're going to use me as the perfect example. All right. Everybody's seen this address, so it's not like I'm business website is going to be HTTPS. Fresh, automated marketer.net. LinkedIn profile. So we'll go to LinkedIn. Go find my LinkedIn profile. Put this off key for a sec. Copy it. Put it back on the form. All right. Facebook profile, same thing. Copy, paste. What is your current product? Coaching and teaching. Go high level. AI and automations. Okay. And then what's your current offer? We'll just say Udemy, DIY, Udemy course for only $19.99 and done for you services at architects.com. Okay. And then we are going to hit submit. Now, what we're going to do, Mario's favorite thing is we always pin this because if we pin that information, right? I should be able to pin. Why can't I pin Mario? Pin. There we go. Now we can use this without having, as we're testing the bots and pushing all the information over, it's going to be critical. Now, here is where you can also, again, for all the people that struggle with writing like I do, what you can do is you can use Claude or you can use, we'll use ChatGPT for now because it has a voiceover, like it allows me to voice record. And I'm going to speak kind of what it is, and then I'm going to copy and I'm going to make it into a nicer prompt. So I'm going to say, we are creating an onboarding form that basically is going to collect the person's first name, last name, email, LinkedIn profile, business website, Facebook profile. It's going to collect the offer and the services and product people are trying to sell or promote. And what I want to do is clean this all up, give it to Perplexity to then in turn search for everything it can possibly find on the customer, the business, the offer, and anything else they can find and put it in a really good, clear snapshot that I can give to other agents to start creating assets. Please create a prompt that is going to take all these things, and please also understand that some things might be empty. For instance, some people might not have a Facebook profile or they might not have a LinkedIn profile. And we want to make sure that Perplexity announces that it doesn't have these assets, because if it doesn't have these assets, instead of actually adjusting or offering advice, we want to make sure that Perplexity just collects the information and then has it set. And if it's empty, we just label that it's empty. So it's got to be very clear that we took all the assets and we reviewed them, and we did a full analysis. And then that analysis is going to be used to feed other bots to create different assets. If I was to write that, Mario, we would have been here for 10 years. There would have been at least
I
100
was
different
just thinking that.
and this would have been the end of my career as we know it. So anyway, and for anybody watching, Mario and I are going to be live in Denver supporting our fantastic friends over at HL Pro Tools. We're going to be there for 3 days, dropping some bombs of knowledge. But more importantly, we are going to be recording completely live from there in a couple of different scenarios. This might be a complete crap show, but it's going to be fun watching us fail. So either way, it's going to be a guaranteed good time. So be aware and just know that a lot of the live calls that are happening next week are probably going to happen from Denver. Um,
Yeah, man, super
so
excited to see you again.
yeah, I know. Ditto. It'll be like, well, officially see each other because we didn't officially see each other the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true. It's true.
So we're going to be basically doing this where it's just creating the prompt, and then this is going to be the prompt that in turn feeds Perplexity, and Perplexity is going to give us an output that we're then going to start chaining all the different bots that are going to do the different things. So right after this, what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder system. We might actually steal one that I already have pre-created, but just so you understand, this is kind of the process to do. So everything here, if you guys are watching it, you can create an onboarding process for pretty much any kind of business. It doesn't really honestly matter. Joining people join your programs. They do everything, and having this pretty much all automated is where you want to go with it. Cool. And like I said, I'd use this internally. Your guys are now getting it, throughout the whole entire thing. Um, there we go. Look at this. It's still going.
Yeah, see what I love about ChatGPT is like the prompt writing. Once you get good at the input prompts, the output prompts are pretty awesome.
Mhm. That's why it's better to speak into it, not type it in. So, would you use a curl as opposed to setting up another way, or do you just follow the API documentation? The curl is always better, Bev, because it already kind of comes pre-done. But then Mario, just from a lot of experience, knew that to take out the bearer token and do it the other way, and that's what he got to basically connect. Um, so here we go. Look at this thing, man. This thing is still keep going. Holy crap. I don't know if this is a little bit scary because this is actually going to pull sonar to like do a full search on me. Man, maybe all my past indecencies are going to come come to fruition.
That OnlyFans is going to come back to bite you, buddy.
I know, man. This is like one lapse of judging moment. There you go. Um, Boy, that would be the worst thing for anybody to experience. Um, cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this entire code. I'm going to go back to our NAN. I'm going to go to our agents. I'm now going to add an option, and I'm going to add a system message. And we are going to come in here and we are just going to go here. Now, you notice that the chat input is undefined. And that is very interesting because now we're going to do
So
is
it's because you have to define it below and you have
yeah,
to put in the user message. You basically have to drag the individual fields over and label them.
yeah. So what we're going to do is turn this into expression. And I like using this because this makes it easier. I hit on the little square with the arrow sticking out of it. So just bear with me. We're going to do first name. Okay. And then basically drag this over, then hit enter. Oh, let's try that again. Don't highlight it. Okay. Hit enter. And by the way, when you see the green, that means that the values are passing over. So if you look over to the right, that's going to be the output that the name is going to come through. Then you're going to come over here, you drag that over. Same thing. Make sure the green is there. Email. Okay. Business website. Yeah, and this is painstaking, but this remember, this is going to be like a one-time effort that's going to yield a crap ton of results. And by the way, most things that people are like, should I do this? Should I not? And my first question is it going to bring you money or is it going to bring you time? Either or is pretty valuable. And if it's going to only bring you like 30 minutes of time back, stop doing it. It's going to bring you like hours. This would take me hours to do. And this would be something I probably wouldn't even get a chance to do my customers. But now if I can do that, I can do that. Okay. Oh, product. I'm sorry. This is actually what is your current service or product? What is your offer? And we're going to use the now time. Are you ready? Mario, look at this. I know how to do now. No, I don't.
Put a dollar sign in front of it. Put
What
a
is it?
dollar sign in front of it. Dollar sign now.
Thank you. And we're going to put, okay. It's always good to put the time so then you have it. Great. So I now know that this is going to pass all this information. I have my system message that I've already added. So all I have to do now, and we're using chat model GTP, I am going to do two additional things. We are going to use the think tool. I have noticed a little bit of a difference in here. When we do use it, quality does come back a little bit better. We're also going to use memory. We're going to probably use only like about 10. All right. I don't know what
And
this
you're
is.
gonna want to change the session ID to the key being the workflow, or you could use yeah, that's fine. That would key it.
Yep.
Or the email is also an option to key it.
Yeah, email would have been it. And for all the people, I didn't know we could do this now. I don't know if you 100% know this. If you create a fallback, just in case, because this happened with Claude. Claude was down, and now what you can create is you can create a fallback model outside of OpenAI. So if I wanted to use Claude, just in case that wasn't working, I can now turn on Claude as a fallback model to write this out nicely. So now it will use OpenAI first, and then if OpenAI is failing or something's not working, then it'll use Claude. The Think tool helps it identify and make it a little bit smarter, and then we would have a simple memory that we're going to use based on the time that this thing comes in order to do it, right? So now that that's all said and done, we have the connected perplexity tool and we have the AI agent with its prompt that I wrote literally in Claude. What I'm going to do is execute the step. Now it is going to take a minute because it's going to search quite a bit. So we're going to kind of see what it is. Because once I have the information in here, it's kind of game over because then I can open up this to do whatever I want. Goal of it is now that this is going to collect it and have it everything ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder so I can place things in. I'm going to create my first document, which is going to be my research document that I want the customer to see on what was pulled on the internet about this person. Because not for nothing, but if I was a marketer or if I was somebody out there that's on the internet and the AI is pulling stuff from me, it's guaranteed that this is probably going to be what AI knows about me, and it might not be the image I want. Not that you can change it, you're gonna have to change it over time because you have to keep fitting the internet the things you do want in order for it to ignore the things you don't want, and then you can go from there. So this thing is still cooking. It is gonna take a second, but this would be an onboarding sequence that you would do. Now, mind you, back in the day, imagine researching a client, going to all the websites and doing all this. Man, this would take you a lot of time.
Oh, I mean, it's great for like political oppo research,
Yeah.
like any sort of competitive research. Like Perplexity is a really powerful tool. And their new comment browser is pretty cool too.
I
I'm
have it.
tempted to,
I'm still on the fence on it. I'm like, it's okay. It did do a couple of things, but
yeah,
I'm probably not using it as best as I could.
I love Chrome. I'm like a hardcore Chrome
Yeah, I
addict.
know. Same here, man. It's kind of hard to give up Chrome. I got it so dialed in, and they do have AI answering, so I don't know yet. But for complex searches like this, where it's going to do all these different things that we wrote in the prompt, let's see the quality that it brings. But I can guarantee you guys are going to be impressed. But again, goal is once I have this asset, because that's going to be the first asset, is going to be the Google search. I'm now able to then feed this to other bots as it's going through. So while it's doing that, let's just kind of, because it might take a second. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to, one, create a Google Drive folder for this individual. First thing I got to do, though, is find a folder. So we're going to go to Google Drive. And in Google Drive, the first thing we're going to do is share, search files and folders,
Well,
search query.
you want to create your folder first, right?
Yeah, I already have one. So but the search query, I gotta wait until it finishes the input. We already have one. This is gonna be, well, we'll create another one. You'll go into Drive. I have like an NAN masterpiece. Just kidding, it's really not. But this is gonna be for onboarding. Look, Beverly, you're hanging out. Why are you in here? These are all the tests we were running at some point in time. Um, and I'm just gonna, why can't I create a folder? New folder. And this is going to be, we'll call it NAN onboarding. Eventually I would move it to my client folder, but just for tests, we're gonna do it in there. Don't know what just happened. That was very interesting.
Right there, bottom left.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're just gonna leave that up because we're gonna want to see things going in there. Man, it's still cooking. Holy smokes. Might have been a lot. I wonder how like how many credits this costs. Oh, yeah, that's what it was, Bev. You like that, right? That Zoom asset one is pretty badass. Um,
That was
yeah,
pretty
this is going to
cool.
be an onboarding component. I mean, like I said, I have major visions for this because the way I want to do it is I want to be able to create like a massive asset folder that every single one of my clients. And now with Nano Banana, you could create Google Ads, you can create social media posts for them. And imagine you literally you a client becomes one of your clients, and literally within the first day, within the first couple hours, or maybe an hour or so, or even less than that, they'll have like 6 organic posts, 7 images, new professional images made based on Nano Banana technology. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's all on what I can pull. And if I can pull quite a few things, the more things I can pull, the more I'll be able to create for my client. But again, it's going to be very limited. So even for the people that are doing like real estate, imagine you're a real estate agent, right? Somebody fills an onboarding form for you. They put in their house address, they put in their email, and only with the house address. What you can do is you can call the Zillow API, you can do a Google Maps search, you can do all this, and then immediately it'll pull all relevant information, have a docket already pre-created, and you're like ready to rock and roll. If that doesn't like immediately like floor the customer and go, holy crap, I made a massively great decision, because the better you onboard and the quicker win you give to the customer right off the bat, the harder it is for the customer to change their impression on you. So crazy story, but this is complete psychology. We used to learn this when we were working for the major banks. The first interaction of the customer is always the important one, because if I'm able to get you into the door, open up your account, give your checkbook, immediately get you a credit card, and also talk about possible deals to you as far as your mortgage and everything else. And if I give you a great experience where you have to do minimal effort and get the best results, the odds of me keeping you as a customer and you being upset with me or the bank was always lower. It was crazy psychology. So that's
Well, that's
why.
why
What was that?
I was just, that's why I bank with USA and Huntington. Like the customer service for both banks. So USA doesn't do business bank accounts, but Huntington does. And the experience from like I'm a big like I hate going into the branch and I hate dealing with people and like sitting down with a banker and being sold things. So for me, it's all about the virtual experience and the virtual experience on both the personal and business account side for USA personal and Huntington business is stellar. Like probably took me maybe 3 minutes to open a business account and like they had to do an approval that took an hour and then my account was open and ready to rock. Like accepting payments like same day, like next day deposit, like it's amazing.
I'm telling you, if you follow it for all businesses, I don't care what you're in, all businesses, you make the first experience the best experience, and you make it so worthwhile that the customer doesn't want to turn back. They will have a harder time being upset with you because if you screw up or something goes wrong, then you having to recover once something is done. Um, so yeah, this is just taking a hot moment. Mario took over.
It's not that it's taking a hot moment, it's that Perplexity declined the it worked on that one and
CBS
that one.
Sports, why is doing all that?
Oh, I know why.
Oh, I know why too. I just saw it. We left the USO open stuff versus the input from the user.
So this is where we have to do some surgery a little bit on what you've got in here because the other thing is that these variables are in the main prompt, so we can kill this. Um,
Well, not all of them are in there. Can you report them back for a sec? Location, industry, services, offer description, offer name, socials. No, they have to be in this format, believe it or not, because what's going to happen is we're going to be using other agents and it's going to pull from these individual JSONs. It's going to make it easier to feed the other bots if we have this information.
right. But the JSON output is already down here. So these are the inputs.
Got it.
So we need the inputs to match the form, but these inputs are already specified in the user prompt. Which realistically speaking,
We just have to switch those out. That's all.
yeah, realistically speaking, all of this is in the user prompt anyways. So this prompt needs to be tweaked to be a system prompt.
Meaning, don't put variables in there.
Yeah.
You can just drag them over. I don't think it's going to be because I think the more no.
Yeah, I mean I can. It's just it's duplicate context, and I always hate duplicate context in prompts.
Here, want me to drag it over? I'll drag it over. I'll do this real quick. I get what you're saying though. And everybody watching is just like, again, the prompt gave us variables that we weren't leveraging, so it's coming back. And again,
So this is where you can actually delete here, let me grab screen control.
yeah, yeah.
You actually shouldn't need any variables in here whatsoever. Because what you're telling it is the JSON structured output. And this JSON structured output is what we're going to feed to Perplexity's search parameters. Come on, scrolly. So now we have our user prompt with our information, and we've got our system prompt right here. And then we need to call that perplexity tool, and we can specify, or it should be able to automatically define it. So now we have that data pin. Let's try re-executing the workflow.
How did you catch that it was failing and not just taking long because the wheel kept spinning? How were you able to
Because the HTTP node was erroring out because it was thinking and trying it over and over again.
Hmm,
And I was watching the logs down here.
got it. Oh, you were watching the logs. See, again, this is why Mario's smarter than I am. Oh, failed again, damn it.
Yeah, so see, it's got bad requests based on some sort of parameters. So it's failing on the different request options. So that means we're going to need to um, edit this. It's not smart enough yet to define its own JSON payload. Um, but how would we
We can just
do?
ask, honestly, we could probably ask ChatGTP to give us the JSON format.
Well, so the JSON payload is already right in here at the bottom, where
We can just
it's
restate it.
outputting this. I'm just trying to think of how to structure the prompt. So give me 2 seconds. I don't know enough about the Perplexity AI, but let's ask ChatGPT, like you said.
So we're going to say we are using an NAN and it requires a JSON what output you said, Mario?
Yeah, the what JSON input would we use for Perplexity? Go to the Perplexity AI or API playground. And yeah, go to the playground, and then
Really?
this is what you would want to, so you'd want to use like different search queries. So we'd probably want multiple perplexity tools because we're not using the standard perplexity node because it's broken. Um, we'd want structure outputs guide. Yeah, so this is basically the payload kind of thing that you'd want. Um, what we'd need to do is probably because we're about 10 minutes out from
Closing down.
um
Well, we can always
closing
do
down.
this another time. So if anything, folks, like we started the process, you guys kind of understand what we're trying to do. Don't really understand why the node's not working. Every other creator that's out there that's using Perplexity is using that same node and they can get it to work. For some odd reason, I can't get that thing to work. Because you won't
Yeah,
even need two
I'll
nodes.
figure that out today.
But that one node should just be working. But the goal of it is, just so we understand as we kind of build this out, is it's gonna grab all the stuff, it's gonna give us the output. We're gonna create a folder based on the email and the date, or I'm sorry, the email. We're searching for it. If it's not found, we're gonna create a folder. If it is found, we're gonna use that folder to shove all the documents in there, and then we're gonna use one agent at a time, and we're gonna chain all these different agents to just keep creating different documents based on everything that I pulled, and those documents will all be different. Facebook profile updates, website recommendations and changes, and the list is going to go on and on and on and on and on. But that's going to be kind of like what we're going to want to do. Just to give you guys an idea, but that's the goal of what this is going to be. This is going to be like the major onboarding form that's going to help you onboard your clients and have an amazing crazy, all kinds of stuff that happen inside of here. So that's it, folks. So from this is onboarding using NAN part one. We will have part two probably live, if not something else that we are going to be learning while we're at HL Pro Tools. But we'll see you guys in Denver, and we'll see you guys all later. All right, thank you, everybody.
When do you get in?